Okay, so here we go. So remember that I'm gonna do Alt Tab all the time and go to the view here and there sometimes. So we finish here and we start right there. We're gonna add a new level. And I think most of these things you know. There's only like 2 or 3 ingredients that you don't know how to follow. So it's good to repeat again and again and then find slight variations within the same thing. So level 321 is as we said last class, but we're going to introduce the level basement level, okay? And we're going to call it top of footing. Okay, so first, new level 14.8 below level 1. Okay, so that means I have to go to the elevations. I'm going to come here, select that guy, CO for copying, take it down 14 feet 8 inches. That was not correct because it wasn't orthogonal, so CO 14 feet 8 inches. Okay, it says level 10 because we did 9 before, and it renames them accordingly. So, but how are we going to rename this level? Top of footing. Remember we did top of parapet, TO. We do the same thing, TO footing. So you click a couple times slowly and you just name it T.O. and footing. Enter. Remember that because I copied the level down, we don't have it automatically under the levels, no? So what do? We go to View, Plan Views, Floor Plan. It's going to ask me to save. By the way, let's just save it as. You guys should save it as. I'm going to close that. Save as project. I'm going to call it class 12. Good. Top of footing, but we still don't have it here, so view, call out, sorry, plan views, floor plan, say OK, and here it is again. Yes, it will be. But again, it's your choice to do either way. I like to copy them and do that. It's like 2 steps, but yes, you're totally right. If you go to the front elevation, you go to architecture levels, and you start here or whatever you want, and you start when it says what? Well, it's just 14.8, no? Either way, you have to create it, call it top of footing, and make sure that it's in minus 14 feet 8 inches. Okay. We will be adding an 8-inch slab on grade, meaning above that there's a slab. Remember the detail there? That the slab is the floor, it's the structural, and it will be 8 inches. We'll get to that point later on. By setting the top of footing to minus 14.8, the slab will sit 14 feet below level 1, maintaining a consistent floor to floor. Meaning that if we put a slab on top of that measures 8 inches, from this floor to this floor we're going to have 14. That's why top of footing is 14 and 8. Okay? Good. Extend grids and propagate extends. So here's the thing. The second I do this level, my grids stay there. I think it's good that we extend them down in each of the views. So we're going to have to go, unfortunately, to the north, the east, and you always make them extend a little bit, because in theory you're going to have dimensions here later on, so you have to extend a bit from the last or first level, depending from where you see it. South is extended because it's the same as the one from the north, and west in theory should be extended as well. Okay, so here what it's saying is let's propagate the grid, so that you always go to the level, let's say level 1 composite. You select everything, but we only want the grid, so we filter out. I say none. I only want the grids. Say OK. Propagate extends. I always select everything here, so I'm sure that it propagates everywhere. Propagate means that every plan will show the grids as this one according to the section extension that we did a second ago. Okay. Next, draw a structural foundation wall. Go to level 1. Structure, wall structural foundation 12-inch concrete. So level 1 composite is where I was. I'm going to close everything else behind that. Structural, wall structural. So we haven't mentioned this, but there's actually a whole tab of architecture here and a whole tab of structure here. Some of them are very similar, but they're different in their function. They're actually structural function. And they have different settings, slightly different settings than the one in architecture. Okay, so it's not the same a wall from architecture than a wall from structure. Okay, so again, structure, wall, structural. So we say wall, structural, and it's telling me to draw both in the atrium and in the laboratory building a rectangle wall. Is going to be 12-inch concrete. Okay, so let's do it. Generic 12. Or is there a foundation? Let me see. Foundation 12 here. That's the correct one. And here's the thing what it's saying, and I'm going to do it in two different ways now. Depth is top of footing. What is this depth? I mean, normally we were doing things from height, no? So there's a way of setting this to depth instead of height. Remember when we say height, it's because we were in a level, in this case level 1, and we were saying, hey, do a wall from this level to this level above it. But you can also be in a level and say, do a wall from this level down to this level. That's when you say, instead of height, you say depth, okay? And we don't say inconsistent, unconnected. You say top of footing, meaning it goes from level 1 to the new level we just created, top of footing, no? Location line, finished face, exterior. Of core, face exterior is the same in this case because the core and the face is the same. Okay, and now we draw it. We select the green line, oops, rectangle. And why is this happening that you cannot see it? Anybody has? Well, I'm recording, so it should be. You guys shouldn't say anything now. Here's what it says. None of the created elements are visible in floor plans. Well, I'm doing a little trick. I'm in level 1 drawing a wall that is underneath. Remember I said that in another class. Why would you do that if you cannot see it? Well, that's a good point. Nevertheless, you can if you want, and that's what we're doing now. So the moment you create it, the problem that happens is that you don't see it from where you are, so you just have to kind of predict that it's correct, okay? And we do another one here, top of footing, base 0, and we go to the exterior to that point, and it says we cannot see it, and escape. If I go to the 3D, this is what I really created, these guys and these guys. I did it from this above level up here, and I said from level 1, which is right there, to top of footing down here. That's why from that level it was telling me, hey, you just created something that you cannot see. I'm going to do the other one in a different way, instead of the way I explain here. So that's why I say see class recordings for foundation alternatives. I'm going to do the other building, meaning the gym, slightly different. You can follow these instructions and do it exactly the same way if you want. Go to level 1, a structure wall, foundation 12, blah blah blah, and everything will be okay. Okay. I'm going to do it actually from top of footing. By the way, if I click on top of footing, now I do see the walls that I created a second ago, because I am in that level. But how can I do this rectangle if I don't have information that is above in level 1. Remember the underline command. I can be in the top of footing here and go to underlay and say, hey, show me the level 1. And there it is. So I can actually create it as we usually do it from the top of footing and just set it to height. Okay, let's do it. Level 1, top of footing, location line, finished face exterior. So I'm going to do 12 concrete again. Structure, wall structural, 12 concrete. In this case, I want to set this to level 1. It's going to tell me, hey, you cannot do that because you have to set that to height actually. The way to do that is base constraint is going to be top of footing, top constraint level 1, This is because it remembers the previous one, base offset 0. Top of footing level 1, base offset 0. That should work in theory. Now why is it not working? Zero. Okay, it's funny, it's not working, huh? Let me cancel that just a second there. Let's do a wall from top of footing to level 1. For some reason it's not letting me. Base constraint, top footing, base offset, no offset. I mean, I'm going to do it their way and then I'll do it after the recording, so this follows up the logic. So what it was doing is level 1, doing structural wall 12 inches depth, and it's going to go to footing. It's going to be a rectangle, and in this case we're going to put a minus 1/4 of an inch for an offset, so minus 1/4 of an inch. Minus 1/4 and to rectangle from face of brick, which is from the exterior. Okay, so you get to do that, and it's going to give us the message that we cannot see it, no? Which is correct. Now if you go to the 3D, there we have it, which is perfectly fine. So let me cancel that and solve this problem that we had before.